What if the most disliked man in the city was the one Jesus chose to visit? He was rich, he was powerful, but almost everyone in the city hated him. People whispered his name in anger, Zacchaeus. One day, when Jesus Christ came to the city of Jericho, Zacchaeus did something no one expected. A grown man, a wealthy official, climbed a tree like a child. But what happened next shocked the entire crowd, because out of everyone in the city, Jesus stopped, looked up, and called his name. And that moment changed Zacchaeus' life forever. Let's hear the story. Long ago, in the city of Jericho, there lived a man named Zacchaeus. Now, Zacchaeus lived in a busy city called Jericho. Jericho was a very special place. It sat near important trade roads where merchants, travelers, and caravans passed through every day. And where there were travelers, there were taxes, lots of taxes. You see, Zacchaeus wasn't just any tax collector. He was the chief tax collector. That meant other tax collectors worked under him. Now, back in those days, tax collectors worked for the Roman Empire, not for their own people. The Romans allowed them to collect money from the citizens, but they also allowed them to keep extra for themselves. So if a tax collector charged more than necessary, he could keep the rest. Many people believed Zacchaeus had become rich this way. That's why the people in Jericho didn't trust him. They avoided him. Some even called him a traitor. Imagine living in a city where everyone whispers about you, but no one wants to be your friend. One day, news spread through Jericho like wildfire. Jesus was coming. Now, many people had heard about Jesus Christ. They said he healed the sick. They said he welcomed sinners. They said he spoke about God's love in a way no one else ever had. Zacchaeus had heard these stories too, and deep down in his heart, he wanted to see this man. But there was a little problem. Zacchaeus was very short, and the crowds were very big. So do you know what Zacchaeus did? He ran ahead of the crowd like a little boy. Up the road stood a large sycamore tree. These trees had thick trunks and wide branches that were easy to climb. Without worrying about what people might think, Zacchaeus climbed that tree. Imagine that, a wealthy government official sitting in a tree, all just to catch a glimpse of Jesus. Soon, the crowd came walking down the road. Jesus was in the middle of them. But when he reached the tree, he stopped. He looked up, right into the branches, right at Zacchaeus. And then Jesus said something that surprised everyone. "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." Now the crowd started whispering, why would Jesus visit him? But Zacchaeus didn't care what they thought. He climbed down from that tree faster than he had climbed up, and he welcomed Jesus with joy. Now let's pay attention here. Something wonderful happened that day. Being near Jesus changed Zacchaeus' heart. Standing before the people, Zacchaeus said, "Lord, I will give half of everything I own to the poor. And if I have cheated anyone, I will pay them back 4 times the amount." 4 times! That was even more than the law required. Zacchaeus wasn't just saying sorry, he was making things right. Jesus smiled and said, "Today salvation has come to this house." And then he said words we should always remember. "The Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Let's open our Bibles for today's memory verse. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Luke 19:10. This verse reminds us of something truly beautiful. When Jesus said these words, he was talking about people like Zacchaeus and people like us. You see, sometimes in life we make mistakes. Sometimes we choose the wrong path. Sometimes we feel unnoticed, forgotten, or even unworthy. But the good news is this: Jesus is always looking for us. Just like he stopped under that tree and called Zacchaeus by name, he sees every heart and knows every story. And when we turn to him, just like Zacchaeus did, our lives can change too. So remember this, my dear friends: no one is too lost. No one is too far away, and no one is beyond the love of God, because Jesus came to seek and to save, and that means there is always hope. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so these beautiful messages can spread across. See you here again.